Life isn't always smooth sailing. We all face obstacles, setbacks, and disappointments. But here's the key. It's not about what happens to you. It's about how you choose to interpret and respond to what happens. You see, when you act like everything is working in your favor, you're not denying reality. You're not pretending that bad things don't happen. Instead, you're choosing to look for the opportunity in every situation, to find the silver lining in every cloud. You're deciding to approach life with an attitude of optimism and possibility rather than pessimism and limitation. This mindset is powerful because it changes your entire approach to life. When you believe that everything is working in your favor, you become more resilient. You're able to bounce back from setbacks more quickly because you see them not as failures, but as stepping stones to success. You become more creative in problem solving because you're looking for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Let me give you an example. Imagine you lose your job. Now that's a tough situation, no doubt about it. Most people would see this as a disaster. They'd worry about bills, feel sorry for themselves, maybe even fall into depression. But someone who acts like everything is working in their favor, they'd see this as an opportunity. Maybe it's a chance to start that business they've always dreamed of, or to go back to school and learn new skills, or to find a job that's an even better fit for their talents and passions. You see, it's all about perspective, and the beautiful thing is you get to choose your perspective. You get to decide how you're going to interpret the events of your life. And when you choose to act like everything is working in your favor, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. Now let's talk about how this mindset can impact your relationships. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you approach people with a more positive attitude. You're more likely to see the best in others to give them the benefit of the doubt. And you know what? People respond to that. They're drawn to positivity. They want to be around someone who makes them feel good, who sees the best in them. This doesn't mean you become naive or let people take advantage of you. It just means you choose to focus on the positive aspects of your interactions with others. And when conflicts arise, because they will, that's just part of life, you approach them with the attitude that there's a solution that can benefit everyone. You look for win-win situations rather than approaching relationships as a zero-sum game. Now, let's consider how this mindset can impact your career. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you become more confident. You're more willing to take calculated risks because you believe that even if things don't work out exactly as planned, you'll learn something valuable from the experience. You're more likely to volunteer for challenging projects because you see them as opportunities to grow and prove yourself rather than as potential for failure. This attitude makes you stand out in the workplace. Employers and colleagues are drawn to people who approach challenges with confidence and optimism. They want to work with people who can stay positive and solution-focused even when things get tough. And let me tell you, that's a valuable skill in any field. But here's the thing, acting like everything is working in your favor doesn't mean you sit back and wait for good things to happen to you. It's not about being passive, it's about being proactive. It's about taking action with the belief that your efforts will pay off, even if the results aren't immediately apparent. It's like planting seeds. When a farmer plants seeds, they don't dig them up every day to see if they're growing. They trust in the process. They know that if they've planted the seeds in good soil, if they water them and give them sunlight, eventually those seeds will grow into a bountiful harvest. Your positive actions and attitudes are like those seeds. You might not see the results immediately, but if you persist, if you keep acting as if everything is working in your favor, eventually you'll reap the rewards. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Jim, what about when really bad things happen? What about serious illnesses or the loss of a loved one? How can we act like everything is working in our favor then? And that's a heavy question. Life does sometimes throw extremely difficult situations our way. But even in our darkest moments, this mindset can be a lifeline. When you act like everything is working in your favor, even in the face of tragedy, you're not diminishing the pain or difficulty of the situation. You're simply choosing to believe that even in the worst of times, there can be growth, learning, and eventually healing. You're choosing to believe that you have the strength to get through it, that this challenge, however difficult, is making you stronger, more compassionate, more resilient. I'm reminded of the story of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he writes about how he found purpose and meaning even in the most horrific circumstances imaginable. He chose to believe that his suffering had meaning, that it was preparing him for important work after his liberation. And indeed, his experiences formed the basis for his life's work, helping countless people find meaning in their own lives. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to maintain this mindset in the face of serious hardship. It's not. It takes practice, it takes effort, it takes courage. But the alternative, giving in to despair, to bitterness, to a victim mentality, that doesn't serve us. It doesn't help us heal, it doesn't help us grow, and it certainly doesn't help us create the life we want. So how do we cultivate this mindset? How do we learn to act like everything is working in our favor, especially when life seems to be working against us? Well, like any skill, it takes practice. It's not something you master overnight. It's something you work at day by day, situation by situation. One powerful technique is to ask better questions. You see, our minds are like search engines. They'll find answers to whatever questions we ask. So if you ask, why does this always happen to me? Your mind will come up with all sorts of reasons why you're a victim of circumstance. But if you ask, how is this situation helping me grow, or opportunity does this challenge present? Your mind will start looking for positive answers. Another technique is to practice gratitude. When you're grateful for what you have, when you appreciate the good things in your life, it becomes easier to believe that things are working in your favor. Start each day by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for a warm bed, for a cup of coffee, for a friend who makes you laugh. The point is to train your mind to look for the positive. It's also important to surround yourself with positive influences, the people you spend time with, the books you read, the media you consume. All of these shape your soul. Choose to spend time with people who lift you up, who encourage you, who believe in you. Read books that inspire you and challenge you to grow. Listen to podcasts or watch videos that fill you with a sense of possibility and optimism. Now, let's talk about how this mindset can impact your goals and dreams. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you become more ambitious. You set bigger goals because you believe you can achieve them. You're not held back by fear of failure because you know that even if things don't work out exactly as planned, you'll learn and grow from the experience. This mindset also helps you persist in the face of obstacles. When you believe everything is working in your favor, setbacks don't discourage you. Instead, you see them as detours, not dead ends. You understand that sometimes what seems like a setback is actually setting you up for an even greater success down the road. I'm reminded of the story of Walt Disney. Did you know he was fired from a newspaper job because his editor said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas? Can you imagine if Disney had taken that to heart, if he had believed that everything was working against him? We wouldn't have Mickey Mouse or Disneyland or all the magical stories that have entertained and inspired millions. But Disney chose to believe in himself, to act as if everything was working in his favor. And look at the empire he built as a result. Now, let's consider how this mindset can impact your health and well-being. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you're less stressed. You're not constantly worrying about what might go wrong. Instead, you're focused on what's going right and how you can make things even better. And we know that stress has a huge impact on our physical health. By reducing stress, you're doing your body a huge favor. This mindset also encourages you to take better care of yourself. When you believe that everything is working in your favor, you're more likely to make choices that support your health and well-being. You're more likely to eat nutritious foods, to exercise regularly, to get enough sleep. Because you see these actions not as chores, but as investments in your future success and happiness. But let's be clear about something. Acting like everything is working in your favor doesn't mean you ignore problems or pretend that everything is perfect. It doesn't mean you walk around with a fake smile plastered on your face. It means you approach problems with the belief that you can solve them, that there's a lesson to be learned, that you'll come out stronger on the other side. It's about being realistic optimists. We acknowledge the reality of our situation, but we choose to focus on the aspects we can control and improve. We choose to believe in our ability to overcome challenges and create positive change. Now, let's talk about how this mindset can impact your creativity and innovation. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you become more open to new ideas. You're more willing to take creative risks because you believe that even if an idea doesn't work out, you'll learn something valuable from the experience. This mindset also helps you see connections and opportunities that others might miss. When you're not bogged down by negative thinking, when you're not constantly worried about what might go wrong, your mind is free to explore new possibilities. You become more innovative in your thinking, more creative in your problem solving. Think about some of the great innovators in history. People like Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Or Steve Jobs, who was fired from the company he co-founded, only to come back and lead Apple to become one of the most valuable companies in the world. These people didn't succeed because everything always went their way. They succeeded because they chose to believe that everything, even their setbacks and failures, was ultimately working in their favor. Now let's consider how this mindset can impact your financial life. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you approach money with an abundance mentality rather than a scarcity mentality. You see opportunities to increase your wealth rather than focusing on what you lack. This doesn't mean you become reckless with money. It means you make financial decisions from a place of confidence rather than fear. You're more likely to invest in yourself, to take calculated risks that can lead to greater rewards. You're also more likely to be generous, to give to others because you believe in the abundance of the universe rather than fearing there won't be enough. But remember, acting like everything is working in your favor doesn't mean you'll never face financial challenges. It means you'll approach those challenges with a problem-solving attitude rather than a defeatist one. You'll look for ways to increase your income, to cut unnecessary expenses, to make your money work harder for you. And you'll do it all with the belief that you have the ability to improve your financial situation. Now let's talk about how this mindset can impact your spiritual life, whatever that means for you. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you're more likely to see the interconnectedness of all things. You're more likely to find meaning and purpose in your experiences, even the difficult ones. This mindset can deepen your faith if you're a religious person. It can help you trust in a higher power or a greater plan. If you're not religious, it can still enhance your sense of connection to the world around you, your appreciation for the beauty and wonder of life. But here's something important to understand. Acting like everything is working in your favor doesn't mean you become passive or fatalistic. It doesn't mean you sit back and say, well, everything's working out for me, so I don't need to do anything. On the contrary, this mindset should inspire you to take action, to participate fully in your own life. It's about combining faith with works, belief with action. You believe that everything is working in your favor, and you act accordingly. You take risks, you put in effort, you strive to grow and improve, all with the underlying belief that your efforts will bear fruit, even if not in the way you initially expected. Now, let's address a common misconception about this mindset. Some people might think that acting like everything is working in your favor means you become blind to real problems or ignore legitimate concerns. But that's not the case at all. This mindset doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you choose to focus on the aspects of reality that you can positively influence. It's about being solution-focused rather than problem-focused. When you encounter a problem, instead of dwelling on how difficult or unfair it is, you immediately start looking for solutions. You ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this situation to grow stronger, wiser, more resilient? This approach makes you more effective in dealing with life's challenges. Instead of wasting energy complaining or feeling sorry for yourself, you channel that energy into finding solutions and making improvements. And because you believe that everything is working in your favor, you approach these challenges with confidence and creativity. Let's talk about how this mindset can impact your personal growth. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you become more open to feedback and criticism. Instead of getting defensive or discouraged, when someone points out an area where you could improve, you see it as valuable information that can help you grow. You become more willing to step out of your comfort zone, to try new things, to take on challenges that stretch you. Because even if you fail, even if things don't work out as planned, you believe that the experience is ultimately working in your favor, teaching you, shaping you, preparing you for future success. This mindset also helps you take more responsibility for your life. Instead of blaming others or circumstances for your problems, you look at how you can take charge of your situation. You ask yourself, what can I do to make this better? How can I turn this situation to my advantage? Now let's consider how this mindset can impact your resilience. Life will always have its ups and downs. That's just the nature of things. But when you act like everything is working in your favor, you become more resilient in the face of adversity. You bounce back more quickly from setbacks because you see them as temporary and ultimately beneficial. This resilience is like a superpower. It allows you to keep moving forward, to keep growing and achieving even when things get tough. It's what separates those who succeed from those who give up when faced with obstacles. But here's the thing about resilience. It's not something you're born with. It's something you develop. And acting like everything is working in your favor is one of the most powerful ways to build your resilience muscle. Every time you choose to see a challenge as an opportunity, every time you choose to believe that a setback is setting you up for a comeback, you're strengthening your resilience. Now, let's talk about how this mindset can impact your leadership abilities. Whether you're leading a company, a team, a family, or just leading yourself, this mindset can make you a more effective leader. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you inspire confidence in others. People are drawn to leaders who exude positivity and possibility. This mindset also helps you make better decisions as a leader. Instead of being paralyzed by fear of a failure, you're able to take calculated risks. You're able to see opportunities where others see only obstacles. And when things don't go as planned, you're able to pivot quickly and find new solutions. But perhaps most importantly, this mindset makes you a more empowering leader. When you believe that everything is working in your favor, you're more likely to believe in the potential of those around you. You're more likely to give people chances to help them grow, to bring out the best in them. Now, let's consider how this mindset can impact your ability to handle change. In today's fast-paced world, change is constant. And for many people, change is scary. It represents uncertainty, the unknown. But when you act like everything is working in your favor, you see change differently. You see it as an opportunity for growth, for new experiences, for advancement. Instead of resisting change, you embrace it. You become adaptable, flexible. You're able to roll with the punches and find the positive in new situations. And in a world where the ability to adapt is increasingly valuable, this gives you a significant advantage. But let's be clear, acting like everything is working in your favor doesn't mean you become reckless or naive. It doesn't mean you ignore real risks or fail to prepare for potential challenges. It means you approach those risks and challenges with a positive problem-solving attitude. You prepare for the worst while expecting the best. Now let's talk about how this mindset can impact your relationships. When you act like everything is working in your favor, you bring a positive energy to your interactions with others. You're more likely to see the best in people, to give them the benefit of the doubt. And people respond to that. They're drawn to your optimism and confidence. This mindset can help you navigate conflicts more effectively. Instead of getting defensive or lashing out when problems arise, you approach conflicts with the belief that a positive resolution is possible. You look for win-win solutions rather than trying to prove you're right and the other person is wrong. In your personal relationships, this mindset can lead to deeper connections. When you believe everything is working in your favor, you're more likely to be vulnerable, to open yourself up to others. You're not constantly guarding against potential hurt or disappointment. Instead, you're open to the possibilities of love, friendship, and meaningful connection. This mindset can also help you be more forgiving. When someone lets you down or hurts you, instead of harboring resentment, you can choose to believe that even this difficult experience is ultimately working in your favor, perhaps teaching you an important lesson or steering you towards better relationships. Now, as we wrap up our discussion, I want to emphasize something important. Acting like everything is working in your favor is a choice. It's a choice you have to make every day, sometimes every hour or every minute. It's not always easy. There will be times when it feels like everything is going wrong, when it's hard to see any silver lining. But that's when this mindset is most important. That's when choosing to believe that everything is working in your favor can be a lifeline, a source of strength and resilience that helps you get through tough times. Remember, you are the author of your own life story. You get to choose how you interpret the events of your life. You get to choose what meaning you assign to your experiences. By choosing to act like everything is working in your favor, you're choosing to write a story of optimism, growth, and ultimate success. So I challenge you starting today, make this choice. Choose to act like everything is working in your favor. Look for the opportunities in every situation, even the difficult ones. Approach life with an attitude of possibility and optimism. Be solution-focused rather than problem-focused. Believe in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. And watch as this mindset begins to transform your life. Watch as you become more resilient, more confident, more successful. Watch as you start to create the life you've always dreamed of. Because when you truly believe and act like everything is working in your favor, you tap into a power that can change everything. Thank you.